Morning, gifted crafters. It's crafting time.
Me and my friends are having a great time. It's not face to face, it's all online. We're all in our homes, miles away. Love them like my family, what can I say? My crafting show is on, it's my time for me. Laughter, tips and tricks, this is what I need. We're here to have fun, we're all in the zone. When crafted with friends, you're never alone.
Live from the Sunshine State in Miami, Florida, here is the Gifted Crafters Morning Show with Nancy.
Let's have a good time. Ooh, time to get our craft on. Ooh, time to have fun. Ooh, time to feel good.
Good morning, Gifted Crafters, and welcome back to the Gifted Crafters Morning Show. Good morning out there. I see people tuning in from all over the place, so we just got to say hello to them. Let's see where they're tuning in from. We've got some, we've got Georgette from Knoxville, Tennessee. Good morning to you. Lisa Lilly from Richmond, Illinois. Good morning to you. We've got Deborah Bio. We've got Robin's Quilt Basket, Lisa Lilly. We've got Debbie Maddox. We've got Jenny Owens, Joyce Adams. A lot of people from Texas. Good morning from Texas. We've got Wisconsin in the house. There's Cheryl. And we've got our friends from Canada. Good morning to you. We've got Dover, Pennsylvania, Jackie Hallman. Good morning. And Marge, good morning to you as well. Alrighty, we've got all kinds of people from joining in. And if you are tuning in for the first time, my name is Nancy from GiftsHQ. Oh my goodness, Cheryl says it's 37 degrees in Wisconsin. Ouch. Wow, that's cold. We're tuning in from Miami, Florida, and it's kind of hot here. Sorry to tell you, but I'll share the warmth with you. Don't worry about that. From North Dallas, good morning, Sean. And of course, we've got Faker McFake. She's here for another amazing day with us. Well, thank you, and I hope you enjoy yourself. Awesome. Okay, so again, my name is Nancy with GiftsHQ, and this is just a daily session that we do every day, Monday through Friday, and we like to share all kinds of tips and tricks and all kinds of amazing demos and projects, and we just have a lot of fun together. So if that's something you're into, you're definitely in the right place. Go ahead and put yourself in the chat. Let us know that you're new here so we can welcome you in. And if you're watching the replay, go ahead and leave a comment because we'd like to say hello to you as well. Alrighty, so we've got a lot to talk about because me and Miss Molly over here, yeah, that's my sewing machine, Miss Molly. We had a late night last night and we were just chatting up a storm. Let's just kind of say we got to bed early this morning. So I just had to do it, had to just do a total restart. I just wasn't liking the way the project was coming out. And so we did some changes and we're going to kind of show you that. We're going to pick up where we left off, just with a whole different set of colors. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so again, if you're here for the first time, something that we always do is we like to have a little toast in the morning. So go ahead and grab yourself a cup of whatever it is that you have in the morning, coffee, tea, soda, water. There's no judgment here. Go ahead and grab yourself a cup. And if you don't have one, don't worry, because I'm going to pour you a cup. So let's go ahead and pour ourselves our cups and get ourselves all settled. Go ahead and raise your glasses and let's toast a really good morning to all our gifted crafters. And for those of you up north who have some really cold weather out there, I'm just hoping to bring you a little bit of warmth. So raise the glasses and let's grab a little swivel here. Oh, yes, needed that. Have my water in the morning. So now that we had our little toast, I think a little warm weather is going to kind of go your way. Alrighty, yay, coffee, awesome. Yeah, cheers to the water for you, yay. Water's always great to have in the morning. First thing, drink a cup of water. Then you can have whatever you want. Gotta have that water first. Okay, so we've had our little toast. How about getting a little snack? Are you feeling a little hungry? I think I am, but I think we need to do a little bit of exercise maybe. So let's kind of stretch a little bit and take a little walk.
And they say they're cold, so we should warm them up.
Yeah, and yeah, I think you guys said you were kind of cold. So let's do a little warm up here. You know, we'll get our little exercise in and maybe I'll send a little warmth your way. So let's go ahead and roll out that car. And yeah, I think, oh wait, yes, I think we're gonna head to that beach. Yeah, we're gonna be walking in the sand in that nice toasty little sand there on our toes, and we're gonna have a little warmth, and maybe we'll jump into the water for a little bit. What do you think? Well, no worries, we've got all the snacks for you. They're all virtual, they're all free, and they're all calorie free too, yay. Just don't feed the dolphins, will ya? Okay, so we've got everything that you want there, so go ahead and help yourselves. And now that we've got our snacks and we've got our drinks, I hope you're in your nice little cozy spot, because now we're going to get started with our show. Oh no, Molly was known to stay up late through the night to finish a project, Lisa. Well, me and her were just chatting away last night because I kept talking to Miss Molly and asking her, why are you making me do this wrong? You're not telling me anything. But we were chatting away and it's okay. We got it done at the end, you know. We were having some conversations, you know. So yeah, me and your mom, we're just besties now. We're just chatting away. Okay. Oh, you're enjoying some fresh apple cider. Wow. Ooh, that sounds really good. You know, I actually bought some tea at the expo. And it was a big bag of tea that they had a booth that sold these really nice teas, and we tried a whole bunch of them and they were actually really, really good. My mom got a bag of it and I got a bag of it, but then I thought that I had to go through the airport and I didn't want them taking it away. So I gave it to my sister to bring to me, along with a couple other things that I didn't feel would pass the TSA test in terms of a carry-on, because I didn't want to check in my luggage. And so I gave her all that stuff, and I need to bring it. I keep forgetting. I need to bring it home and maybe try some of that tea because it was really good. I'll show you guys what it is when I snag it. I'll probably go on Sunday to see my mom. So I'll grab the little bag and bring it with me so I can probably have some tea on Monday. Yeah, so that sounds pretty good. So, okay. True Honey. Yes, that's the name. True Honey tea. It's great, Leslie. Oh, yes. I bought the apple, I think it was apple cinnamon one. I can't remember the exact name. And then my mom brought a different one as well. So, yeah, but it was really good at the expo. And really. So if you haven't woken up yet, Mr. H told me before, as me and Molly were having our little late night, Mr. H told me, you better get to bed because you got to wake up early and you're not going to want to wake up. If you don't wake up, I'm going to have something to wake you up. So, I don't know, but he says he's going to kind of wake you guys up today. He has something to wake you up. So I'm not sure exactly what it is, but you know.
Pet rooster.
A pet rooster? He has a pet rooster. Oh, that's nice to know. He's got a pet rooster for us now to wake us up in the morning. He's always thinking of something. I don't know. You guys just don't understand, Mr. H. He always has some crazy thing he's wanting to do, but he loves it. He loves you guys. And, you know, he just keeps it fun. Very entertaining. Okay. Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, no, she didn't come on Friday. She actually left my mom's yesterday. And she's on her way back up. She did stop in Orlando again. Because my cousins, when she was heading down towards Florida, they stopped at a cousin's house that I have in Orlando. And she was they were talking about sewing and she was looking for something, you know, extra to do. So they went out and they got a sewing machine and she's got her all hooked into sewing now. So, she brought my mom, but then she was on her way back and she was going to stop back in Orlando again to spend the night there and then continue the journey up to Virginia. So she should be getting home today. So we'll see. Awesome. Okay. So let's get going, shall we? Because we've got a lot of sewing stuff to talk about. So like I said, me and Molly were up late and I kept going through this fabric and it's a beautiful collection. It really is. The fabrics are gorgeous, but this particular project, I just could not get my eyes to really get it to pop the way I wanted to. So I made the executive decision and I said, I'm just gonna swap out the fabric and start all over again. So I did. And I ended up I had a charm pack sitting in my stash. So this was a charm pack that I want to say I picked up at Hobby Lobby. It's just a charm pack with all white squares. So 5x5 inch squares. If you don't have a charm pack, you can easily just cut up yardage, right, of 5x5. And I thought about using my white on white fabric or like a light gray fabric, but then I decided, you know what, these charm packs have been sitting around in my stash for a little too long, so it's time to use them up. So I decided to go with this one. Then I was looking for what the offsetting color was, and I decided I am not going to pick a charm pack. I am going to use some yardage, and I'm going to go ahead and use what I had in my stash. So I had this really pretty red that I picked up, and this is what it looks like. So it's got a little bit of a design, but it's beautiful with the two colors and that design. So that's what I did. And then I went ahead and I recut everything just like the instructions say. I went ahead and recut everything again. I did my half square triangles. And so I ended up with a second stash here with everything put together. And you can see here, let me show you what my half square triangles look like. And I think that looks really good. So, because I restarted everything, now we're ready and I'll show you what the layout is and we can go ahead and just start sewing away, right? All right, so that's what we're doing today. Now, before we get to that, I do have one bit of crafting news. Super important for all of my people out there that live in the Texas area because we're all super jealous of you today. So if we can, let's go over to our crafty news to find out what that is. Because in Texas today, if you are in Houston, of course, we've got the infamous International Quilt Festival that kicks off today. Yes, we're all jealous. Now, this is the largest quilt show in the entire United States, and it's being held at the George R. Brown Convention Center. And every year, more than 40,000 people from around the world gather to celebrate their art of quilting. They've got hundreds of vendors, stunning quilt displays, and hands-on classes for every skill level. One of these days, I'm gonna head there. It's on my bucket list now. That's it. Gotta get there. And with that, you'll find everything from new fabrics and tools to breathtaking quilts that really feel like works of art. There's also a place where quilters can connect, share ideas, and leave feeling completely inspired. I can just imagine what you can see in that show. So if you're one of our gifted crafters and you're in that area and will be attending, I'm going to ask you a big favor to please post them on our Facebook group so we can all share on the fun, because that is just such an exciting place to be, to see all of those quilts, and I would really, really love to do that. So please take lots of pictures, because I would really love to see those. I think that is an amazing show. Now, of course, it's in the Houston area, and the festival is going to run from October the 9th through October the 12th, and you can find more information at quilts.com. So all of my Texas people out there, and I know I have quite a few people from Texas, please, 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 if you go to that festival, take some pictures for us and show us what you're seeing, because I can only imagine how amazing that festival is. It's going to be huge, 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 huge. And they're going to have such beautiful stuff there. Oh, you'll be heading there shortly. Will do, Miss Nancy. Yay, Jenny. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. So get there safe, Jenny, and have a ton of fun. We're so jealous. Wish I could go with you. Oh, one day I'm going to head over to Texas, to Houston, and I'm going to stay in there and just be there the whole week, like just for that festival. Like I'll probably have to get there like a few days before just to prep myself and bring like 2 extra suitcases, right? Yeah.
2.
Yeah, 2. 1 won't be enough. Definitely won't be enough, would it? No, I don't think so. It's going to have to be those 2. And I'm not talking the little suitcases. I'm talking the like big suitcases. I'm going to stuff everything in there. Or you can always ship it, right? Alrighty, so very, very jelly, as my kids would say. Jelly, jelly, jelly. But I hope you have a fantastic time. I can't wait to see the pictures. Okay, and if anyone else is going, please, 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 try to hook up with someone from our chat, you know, and say hello to them. It would be great to just kind of meet up with others there. So let us know who you see there, Jenny, and definitely take some pictures. Okay, so now don't forget Mr. H's suitcase. Yeah, he would be the perfect he would be the perfect person to hold my bag.
Oh no, yeah, like our honeymoon. I remember that.
Yeah, just like our honeymoon. Yeah, you know, honey, I just have a couple bags. We went to Europe, and we had a lot of bags. Let's just say. Okay, so let's get to it, because we're just getting off hand here. All righty. Let me move all of these things over to the side here. I'm actually going to put them over here. And I'm going to lay these out. Here we go. And again, I'm going to try to do it the opposite so that you guys can see it. So we'll start on, I'll start on this side over on top. Okay. And let me try to move Miss Molly over just a tad more, because I'm going to need as much space as I can. I'm going to lay this out as quickly as I can and see if we can do this right here. Okay, I kind of got them in somewhat of the order. And I want to show you guys what it looks like, because I was so excited. Okay, hold on here, making sure I've got it positioned the right way. Yeah, we do. Okay, here's the first row coming together here. And so now today what we're going to do is we're just going to sew them. We're going to sew each of these pieces and make those rows. So row number 1, it's right here. We've got row number 2 here. And hopefully, I think I laid this out correctly. So far, so good. Just move these down. I think I just got to lay them down. Hopefully, I got them in the right position. If something looks off, let me know and stop me here. But I think I laid them out right. And row number 3. Are you starting to see the star yet? Not yet? Okay, not yet. I'm just going. I'm not paying attention because I'm just kind of laying these out. I hope I got these right. We'll see. But are you starting to like see anything yet? Is it going? Okay. Let's move this here. I just think that using this solid really brought the star out so much better than the charm pack. That we made a good decision here. I think swapping it out, this should have been this should have been attached to a solid. I don't think, and I'll move this up this way. I don't think this really goes well with a charm pack that had all of those designs.
Yeah, it pops.
I think this is just much, much better.
Wait, something is off.
Is something off? Did I mess up? No. No? Wait, yeah. Which one is that? No, this way. Here, this one. Let's see, which way is this supposed to go?
No.
No. No.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding.
There we go.
Better.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay. See that? You can see that star so much better. Yes. Much, much better. I like this much, much better. This was just, yeah, I'm so glad I changed it. Yeah. Swap the two. You just, oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Rosalind. Okay. So I think we're good. And you know, this is a good way, because what I did was I started to gather them and I put them in the pile the way I should sew them. So you got to be really careful here, because as you're sewing this together, you can kind of really mess it up. So I'm probably going to have the picture here in front of me as I sew it to make sure I'm orienting it the right way. You can easily flip them somewhere. Yeah, the star is much clearer. Exactly. Exactly. Like now when you look at it, your eyes will automatically focus right on this inner star because it's so clearly defined. With this other charm pack, because they were just so busy and there was so much going on, it didn't allow my eyes to focus and really see that star. Like it took like a minute for me to understand that there was a star there, right? All of that background, you know, just wouldn't let me focus. Now, had I used a charm pack that had, let's say it was busy like this, but let's say that it was a continuous design. So it was like this, let's say this design here with the snowman. Had I had, let's say 1, 2, 3, like all of the red inner star points be this fabric, then it would have been fine. And my eyes would have stayed focused on it. But because that didn't happen, and it was red and it was blue and it was black and it was all kinds of different ones, the colors would not allow your eyes to kind of focus on the object, right? So it's either you're focusing on the object or you're focusing on the colors. And yeah, definitely this one brought it out so much better. I do better when I sew columns when chain piecing instead of rows. Really, Cindy? Okay, I guess you could do it that way too. Yeah, you can just go ahead and sew down the columns and then sew the rows. I just traditionally always have done the rows and then I meet them to the columns. So I guess it's kind of the same way. I mean, you're going the same. You're still nesting your seams when you are meeting the two together, whether they be column or rows. So yeah, there's just so many different ways to get the same thing, but you do what works for you, right? That's all you have to worry about. So now how do I put this back together for me to be able to sew it? Since I'm going to do rows, what I'm going to do is just start at the corner and just pile them one on top of the other. And I'll have one stash here, another stash for this row, another stash, so on and so forth. And then bring that one over to my sewing machine and go from there. So that's what I'm going to do. May want to iron this one. I don't know why it got a little bit wrinkled there. But let's put this back here. And it's really important that you don't turn any of these, because then you're going to be sewing it the wrong way. So putting it together like this, just one on top of the other, making sure they're all going the same way. And then just go ahead and pile them up. And this is where I tend to make quite a few mistakes, because I'm left-handed and I tend to kind of turn things a certain way when I get to the sewing machine. And you know, just by looking at this here, you know that if you're doing your rows, whether you're going this way or you're going this way, you need to kind of know that this is where your seams are going to be. So if you turn it, like it'll be these two. So let's say you turn this one, you're going to end up with seams going this way, and that's incorrect, because then your orientation is going to be incorrect. So you got to be really careful not to turn these around. And I tend to do that when I get to the sewing machine, and then after I sew it, I realize, I turned it and I sewed it in the wrong place. So be very careful with that. I'm going to try not to do that, but we'll see what happens. So we're going to pick all of these back up. We're putting them in the piles here. And you know, I learned this. If you guys ever watched Melanie Ham, she's passed away, but she used to have a channel. I think the channel still exists. And she had one that said, my first quilt. And it was funny because that's kind of the one that I kind of resonated with me. And I kind of remembered that she talked about stacking them and making sure that you get them in the right order. So it was something that kind of always stuck in my head. Well, good morning. This is the Wonder Twins creation. Good morning. How are you? Thanks for joining. And so now that we have this all stacked up, I got to remember that I am showing the quilt to you, so it's opposite to me. So this is actually row number 1. So I can now stack row number 1 on top of row number 2, row number 3, row number 4, and row number 5. And I've got the rest of the rows over here on the side, but I'm gonna have to double check these because I know I turned them to show them to you. So I just gotta make sure I got them the right way. So these are all facing you. So I'm now gonna face them to me, and I'm turning them this way. And that's gonna grab Miss Molly over here. Good morning, Miss Molly. Okay, we've got to slide her on over. I know we had a long night, and I hope you have enough bobbin there because we were sewing away and I didn't get a chance to check, but if not, we'll be playing bobbin chicken, but let's see. So now that I got my stack here ready to go, I'm gonna go ahead and use the stack in the same orientation that they're in, and I'm going to go ahead and sew the 1/4 inch seam allowances and just continue to go along the way. Now, what I'm going to do is keep my little diagram here from my instructions, and as I sew each one, I'm just going to kind of check them off. I think that's the best way, because when you get interrupted, you're not going to be able to know where you left off without having to count and lay things out all over again. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to check them off as I go, and I'll just get my little pencil here and I'll do my little check marks. First 2 are easy because they are both the same. It's just 2 of the light colored fabrics that you have. And all I'm going to do is kind of lay them on top of each other because they are 4.5 inches. And you want to make sure that we go ahead and we sew them at the 1/4 inch. Now, I'm going to do the sew cam here. I've got my seam tape aligned here on my machine. That's going to help to keep me at the 1/4 inch. And I will run my fabric along this little red line. And you know, one thing that I find this machine is so amazing, and I so see the difference between my 2 machines, is that, and I'm lifted up here, these feet dogs here, they're amazing. Oh my gosh. I am in love with these feet dogs because they hold that fabric and they really grab it and pull it through. I think it's really nice. Oh, I hope you gave Miss Molly her coffee. She likes her coffee in the morning. Well, she could have all the coffee she wants. We've got all kinds of flavored coffee for her too. No worries. We're even going to try some tea when I get that tea bag. But yeah, I can tell you the difference that I am seeing with this machine and my other machine. I struggled with piecing because, again, the other machine, it's the Brother HC 1850. That machine is really made for decorative stitches. And so piecing became really difficult because you have a large gap in your plate here on the other machine. And so it allows the fabric to kind of sink in and it would shift. And the feet dogs were not as strong as they are on this machine. I mean, I can literally just put this right on the tip of the edge and it will pull that fabric right in with no problem. I mean, my other machine, it would sink my fabric, so I had to use my leaders and enders. My fabric would kind of move all over the place, so I had to kind of really hold down the fabric with some pressure to make sure that it didn't move around on me so I could get that seam allowance. And, you know, a straight stitch machine is just such a difference, and I just really love it. So enough about that, right? I know you just want to see me sew. Okay, let's get going. We're gonna go ahead and line this up. So we're doing a 1/4 inch, so I'm gonna line it up on the black line over here. The red line is our middle, so we're gonna go right along the black line and we're gonna grab that 1/4 inch. So I'm gonna line her up there. And then let me just find the foot here. Here we go. Let's go ahead and just sew these together. Alrighty. Here we go. Now, we did some, yesterday we were doing the half square triangles and we did some chain piecing. I'm not going to do that today because I want to kind of just enjoy and take my time and check the orientation every single time. But that's how I was kind of able to do the project a lot faster, was because I did chain piecing, and I kind of did the process kind of like in a batch style process, so it went a lot quicker and I was able to do this project really, really fast. At least cut up my squares and do the half square triangles really fast. So let me just plug in my iron here because I want to go ahead and let me see here if I can get my little plug in here. Ooh, squeeze that in. Okay. got that going. And so, oh no, now it's in the way. Hold on, my little extension cord is kind of in the way of my sewing foot, but there we go. Much better. Okay. Cords, cords, cords. They're just everywhere. All right. So now that we've got these two sewed on, I wanted to go ahead and heat up my iron. Let me see if I can move this just a tad so you guys can see me a little better. Because I want to move over my little ironing board. And I'm just going to kind of press on the way because this one looks a little wrinkly. Probably had a little rough night there. So, but I did manage to press all my pieces, and I did the half square triangles, and I trimmed them to make sure they were at that 4.5 inch, that finished size that we want to have to put all these together. Okay, much, much better. Yes. Definitely needed a little bit of an iron. Okay. So now when I open these two up, of course, we're going to have our two pieces together. Yay. So I'm just going to lay them, and I'm not going to iron it just yet with the seam allowance. I'm just going to kind of lay them as we go. So we've got our two. I've got my picture here with the two, and I'm going to go ahead and go with the next one here on top. And need some space here. I'm going to lay them down. Let's tilt this a little bit more. I'm going to lay them down here in front of me with my picture in front of me, making sure I'm oriented the right way. And then I'm going to lay them right sides together, line them up here. And then we're going to do our 1/4 inch seam right over here. And we're just going to continue to do that. Now, when you lay them out, and you may want to grab some pins, one thing that you want to make sure that you do, because this is where errors can start to occur because you're compounding on the row, right? You're adding one square off of an existing row. So one thing that can happen, and you'll want to watch out for it. See if I can tilt her over out of the way here for a second. So I think this is important, especially if you are a beginner. When you are laying this on top right sides together, because you're going to be sewing this here, you want to make sure that, of course, your edges here line up, right? So you can get that 1/4 inch seam. But you, most importantly, you also want to take a look at this going across horizontally, because what can happen, and it can just be a slight little dent, and I know you can barely see that, but let me exaggerate it, if you don't have it lined up going the right way, see what could kind of happen, and I'll exaggerate it just a little bit more. This can start to dip and not line up horizontally. So if you line up here and you think, oh yeah, it's okay, it could be slightly off if you're not checking here. And that tiny little slither that it's off here will then continue to compound as you go. So I know we have tons and tons of quilting pros on here. So if you've got some tips and tricks that you're sharing on the chat, please go ahead and do that. Because this is my little crafting journey here. And this is what I have kind of learned along the way. So as you continue to add on here, I am checking that I line up here on the edge, but I'm also checking my horizontal, my top and my bottom are also aligned. Because if they are off and you start to kind of tilt just slightly, just that tiny little quilt, that little tiny tilt will be fine when you first do it and you're thinking, oh, you know, it's not too bad. But now take that and add another one to it and another one to it. And the next thing you know, your row is not going to be going completely across. It's actually going to be tilted. And that's going to become a big problem when you start now adding on to the second row. So that's something that you really need to look out for. You want to make sure that you're hitting that 1/4 inch, but you're also making sure that your row going across is nice and straight. Okay. Now, if you are tiny bit off, you know that you can play around with this seam allowance to fix the next one, but make sure you fix it. Because if you don't, like I said, it's going to keep compounding. I would rather just use the seam ripper and then just do it again. Just because it really does make that difference when you start doing the rest of the rows and you're nesting your seams. So just take a look at that. Take your time when you're doing this. That's why I don't want to rush it. I want to make sure that my square is exactly where it needs to be. And that's why you're going to take out your little pins and you're going to go ahead and pin it in place. And most people, you know, they don't want to use the pins. They don't want to take out the pins, but it makes a difference. If you really want to make sure that it's not going to move on you, you got to make sure that you pin it. Okay, because you don't want, and you can flip it to the other side and just look to make sure that you don't see any red peeping out anywhere. Now, it could be that your cut is slightly off, and if that's the case, go ahead and fix it. But I'm sure, you know, there's tons of tips everyone's sharing out there. I know we've got a great community, right? And we're here to help each other. So I wanted to share this little tips, and I'm sure you guys have tips out there, and we need to help each other out because everybody does things in different ways, and that's totally fine. And I actually love that because we get to learn the different ways, because sometimes your way is good in one project and then you may get into another project and that way just may not work. And if someone has shared a different way of doing it, that may be your opportunity to try that. So, you know, so go ahead and share those tips and let us know what you're working on, guys. I want to know what you guys are up to, because it is that time of the year where we are getting really busy, and we need to make sure that we're getting our projects done. So we got to keep ourselves accountable here. All right. I've got so many cords, guys, under this table. It's driving me nuts. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and line this up. And again, I just love how these feet dogs just grab the fabric and move it right along. I think it's wonderful. And I don't have to worry about my fabric sinking. Okay, and so after every one, I'm just going to kind of check to make sure I'm at that 1/4 inch seam. Looks fantastic. And you know what? We're here. We might as well give this that press now. I didn't do it for the first two, but I think now we're ready to start pressing. So the instructions themselves do not tell you anything about the seams. They just tell you to press the seams in alternating directions, evens to one side, odds to the other. So what they mean by that is just making sure for every row that you do, or column, if you're going to do the columns, just make sure that your seams are all going one way. And then when you get to the second column or the second row, make sure your seams are going the other way. Because then when you start putting them all together, the rows or the columns together, your seams are going opposite directions and you'll be able to nest them nicely together. So we're going to just stick with, okay, let's go with the left side first. It really doesn't matter as long as you are consistent all the way through. So I'm going to set my seam there, and then I'm going to go ahead and open it up, finger press this, and then we'll put it here. You still hand bind, I'm still hand binding a quilt. Oh, nice. Nice, Cindy. She's hand binding a quilt. She's going to share it with us on Facebook. Nice. Yeah, and if you guys, there's so many projects out there, and we do such beautiful work out there. So if you're not part of our Facebook group, you're missing out. And you don't want to miss out because people post all kinds of things of all projects that they're making. It's totally free, doesn't cost anything to join. And you're able to see everyone's beautiful projects and get some ideas for some projects for yourself. So it's just a lot of fun. Okay, now another thing, and I'm gonna just press this down for a minute and I'll tell you another thing that kind of got me was when I was first starting to learn to quilt, I didn't understand why my points didn't come all the way up to the edge. I thought I had done something wrong. And so I would change my square and redo it so that the point was right at the edge. And that was totally wrong because you do have to think about, you're going to be attaching this to another row. And that row is going to call for a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So when you get to this row and you attach it, here's your 1/4 inch seam allowance that's going to be eaten away. And once you do that, that point is going to be right on the end. And so you're going to see that really come out. So when you first look at it, you're like, oh, wait, my point is off. It is not off. It's not until you add that other row that then you can determine that. So that's something that I kind of learned as well. Oh, Phil's crocheting a Christmas stocking while watching. Oh, that must be beautiful. Awesome. See, we've got such talented people here. You guys, you're just amazing. It's amazing, and there's so many things that you can do. It's so much fun. Okay. All right, so let's get to our next one here. So we've got our light fabric, our half square triangle, and now we're going to grab another half square, put that here, and that's oriented this way. And so I'm going to go ahead and do right sides together on that. Line it up here as well. I'm going to check myself going horizontally on the bottom and horizontally on the top. I'm going to grab my little pin and make sure that she stays in place. So pinch, pinch. Here's my pin, and I lay it flat and make sure it didn't move. Looks good. And then let's bring Miss Molly over here. Come on over. We need you. All right. Let's sew another 1/4 inch here. And you know, Miss Molly, this little foot over here just doesn't want to stay with me. We've got so many cords. Okay. We were just chatting it away last night. All righty. My husband thought I was never going to go to bed. You know when you just get into that zone and you just don't want to leave? I could have been up like literally all night, and then I thought, okay, I better get to bed. But we were just having so much fun. Got my little pin, took my pin out, bringing over my little board here. We're going to go ahead, set that seam. Remember, we're not ironing, we are pressing. We're not all over the place here. And then we're going to just open it up with our fingers, check to make sure that your seams are going all the same way. In this case, for this particular row, my seams are going over to the left. So when I finger press it, I'm just reinforcing that my seam is on the left-hand side. And then once I have that in place, I'm going to go ahead and use my iron. Now I do have my clapper. I keep forgetting about my clapper. So once you have that nice and pressed, get your clapper over and just set your clapper right on top that seam, because that will, the clapper itself is made out of this wood and it will absorb that heat and it'll help the seams flatten. Okay, there we go. So that's looking good so far. Okay. Let's go to the next one. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 all together. So we're looking at number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's how she's oriented. And that's exactly what I have here. So we're looking good. Here it is. And again, right sides together, flip that over. Look at your sides, make sure that's oriented horizontally, vertically, and horizontally on the top. Grab my little pin. I like to kind of do the little pinch and just pin that and lay down the fabric again. After you've pinned it, just lay it down flat. Make sure it didn't shift anywhere. I like where that's at, and then I'm going to take it back to my machine. All right, Miss Molly, come on back here again, and let's get her sewed away here. I'm going to pick this up and line her up here. Okay, got her right on that line, and there's that foot. Keep losing it. Too many cords in my way. Okay, here we go. And off we go. Okay, nice 1/4 inch seam. Love it. God, Miss Molly, you do such a great job. Let's
see. All night. All night long.
Yes, all night. Me and Molly were just having our little chat. Because there was a couple of times, and let me see, I still have them somewhere. These were my boo-boos. One I think it was cut. I instead of sewing 2 5-inch squares, I sewed 2 4.5-inch squares. So yeah, that didn't work out right. And then there was one where here's the one that was cut way too short, I think. There was one where I sewed it the wrong way. And so I ended up with the back of the fabric instead of the front of the fabric. So it's kind of like, okay, yeah, that was towards the very end. It was actually this one square that I had cut too short. I actually had sewed, it was a 1/2 square triangle, and I sewed it at 4.5 inches together instead of the 5 inches together. And so it was way off. So it was the one square that I had to redo and go back and cut another piece and, you know, start from scratch on that one square. And it was that one square giving me all the problems. So yeah, me and Molly, we were just having words yesterday, like, what is wrong with you? Didn't know what I was doing. And it was always the last one, isn't it? It's always the last one that gives you the problem. So, all right. We've got our seams nice and set over to the left. And let's just press this down. Get our seam nice and hot there. A little bit of a wiggle. And I'm going to use that clapper to absorb that heat and set that nice and flat. Okay, let's see, where are we here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 of them in. Boy, we need to move a little faster, don't we? Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're looking at this orientation like this now. And guys, this project, you can literally, like, I will finish this today. This, you know, you can easily do this really, really quickly. So if you want a really quick project, this is a really nice pattern to do. And guys, it's a free download. It's a free download. So take advantage, use up your stash. I know you've got a couple solids in there, or maybe you have like some white on white fabric, or you have some yardage on something that, you know, is pretty subtle and doesn't have too much of a design on there. It'll come out gorgeous. And this is just so quick to put together. This is a really quick project. Okay, here we go. There we are. Yet another one. Yay. And back to our ironing. So it's really important to have everything you need right nearby. Just makes things go a little bit better. Oh, Glenda says, yes, so glad Melody Ham's videos are alive. Yeah, thanks for the column tip, sewing from Cindy. Yes, Nancy, your enthusiasm is contagious. So glad I found you. Oh, well, I'm so glad you were able to join us. That's awesome. Yeah, I really loved her videos. I thought she was just such a beautiful person. You know, I was so sad when she passed away. It was really, really sad. She has nice crochet videos also. I think there was one on the granny square. That's the one I really loved too. She had some really, really beautiful videos there. Such a shame that she passed away like that. It was just so, like, I felt like it was just went so fast and then she was just gone. Really, really sad. But she was a beautiful, beautiful person. She's got a really, really nice videos out there. And I guess, you know, they're keeping them on there, which is really nice and kind of like a, you know, to just remember her by. Okay, last two are just plain, some plain fabrics. And I want to just give it this one a little press. It's got some wrinkles there. I just got this thing about wrinkles. I know we only have a couple minutes left, so we're going to be finished with our first row in just a minute. See if I can get this together. Okay, just making sure that this is nice and straight. Grab my pen here. Do my little pinch. Just make sure that thing does not move. Okay. All right, come on, Miss Molly. I need your speed over here. We need to get at least a row done because, you know, we chit-chat. We chit-chat, so, you know, it takes us a little longer. But when it's just me and Molly, we fly through the projects. Oops, hold on a second. Let me get her a little closer. There we go. Okay, here we go. And she goes so fast too. I'm still a little scared to take her full speed, but really nice. We'll get there, right, Miss Molly? We'll get there. But she flies. She really flies. All right. We've got 2 minutes. So as I do my last square here, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to skip the pressing of the seam, and we'll do that after. I'm going to go ahead and sew the last square here on this row. So let's go over to our inspirational quote of the day so you guys can see that. All right, so today's quote of the day is, every creative journey includes moments of change where new choices bring fresh life to a project. And that's exactly what we did today. We changed it up, and you know, sometimes things just doesn't work out, and it doesn't mean that's the end of the world. You can still kind of move forward with something else. Bring a new perspective in your life here, right? All righty. Okay. So we've sewn our last one here. So I'm going to pull her all the way over here. And we've got to sew, we've got to press the seam on this other one here. I'm going to set this here, make sure my seam's going the right way. And I'm going to go ahead and press them. And we've already got one row all together here. And we did that with a lot of chit-chatting. So imagine how quickly you would be able to pull this together. Set my seam here really quick, and then I'll go ahead and line that up. Okay. So we've already got it all sewn together here on our first row, so we are well on our way. I'm going to continue to do the other rows and put them together, and then tomorrow we'll look at the finished result and we'll look at the binding, because remember we did have some binding that we cut up, so we may still be able to use this binding. It's a nice green one, so I think that may go well. We'll have to see. Alrighty, so Jenny, have yourself a fantastic time at the festival, and anyone else who's going to the festival, please go ahead and take some pictures and let everybody know what you have seen. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate all of your support. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope to be crafting with you soon. Bye, everyone.
So long for now, so long. Glad you stayed a while. Hope you liked my crafting style. Hope I left you with a smile. By now, keep your mind and space clutter-free. Hope your day is bright as can be. So long, my friends, till we craft once again. Bye now, stay crafting. See you tomorrow. So long, my friends, till we craft once again.